Some forms of cooperative behaviour involve an element of competition. Rules help children avoid confrontation and keep things friendly. This exchange has remained amicable, but one can imagine how easily the rules could be broken.
I got the conch. Oh, Jack, let him speak. He's got the conch.
And you shut up. Who are you anyway, just sitting there telling people what to do? You can't hunt, you can't sing.
I'm chief. I was chosen.
Why should choosing make any difference? Telling people what to do?
Piggy's got the conch.
That's right.
The rule of being allowed to speak only when holding the conch in Lord of the Flies is soon overturned as the battle for power begins.
Bollocks to the rules. We're strong. We hunt. The beast will hunt it down and beat and beat.
Structured play, cooperative games, and a supportive adult presence are important techniques in preventing playful fighting turning into aggressive and bullying behaviour. The play environment itself is also very important. Wisewood School in Sheffield has worked very hard at trying to improve this area of children's lives by designing a playground for their needs.
Well, basically, people didn't have anything to do. Like, if you asked somebody if you could play with them, they'd be very nasty about it. And that's how the bullying started, really. And we all decided, we had a survey, people could write down what they thought that would be a good idea to prevent it. And we came up with this idea of the adventure playground, and things have improved since it's happened.
We used to just hang around and we used to get really bored and sit on the walls. And bullying used to happen a lot, but now it doesn't. And we got some new equipment, but it all seemed to disappear. Like skipping ropes and balls, and it all seemed to go missing. And I started getting picked on a lot, so I keep on having to go to teachers a lot. But now we've got this equipment, I find it better now.
When I first became involved with the school, it was a typical playground with very little happening there, and the children were almost like atoms just running around and bumping into each other. And over time, with the support from the landscape department at Sheffield University, the school have developed a number of different play areas and activity areas, and as they've been introduced, I've seen a change in the way that children have been playing.
Aggressive and bullying behaviour has lessened considerably at Wisewood, and staff have noticed a far more caring attitude amongst the children. The children knew what they wanted in their playground, but they needed adults to help them achieve it.
Prior to this awareness and to the playground improvements, the children were sort of much more aggressive in their play. But now they do seem to be more caring towards each other. And certainly as midday supervisors, being more aware of it, we know the signs to look out for, whether it's just play fighting or whether it's actual aggression and bullying. So in that sense, yes, it has made a real difference.
I wish my auntie were here. Oh, what's the use? Grown-ups know things. They ain't afraid of the dark. They'd meet and have tea and discuss. Then things would be all right.
The concern with what the adult's role might be in the playground is a very, very intriguing one and a very important one. And it's one which it's very difficult to see there's easy answers to. It's something about having a balanced view so that one is not imposing things on what people might do in the playground. And there are some concerns about overdoing that. You know, the idea that people have lost the vocabulary of outside play, so we're going to tell them what we did in our youth so that they can rediscover it. I think that's rather too simplistic. And it's probably too simplistic to assume that if you just stand in the background, things will just happen. That, you know, young people are naturally creative and they'll invent all of this. So that seems to me to suggest that we need some kind of middle course where adults can facilitate. They can act as catalysts where it seems appropriate. And in my experience, it can be that lunchtime supervisors, who have had a lot of experience of the young people that they're with, and they know the kind of context, they can be very sensitive to the kinds of things that are going on and how to just feed in things when there's a problem that arises or there's a squabble that they've seen which they try to resolve by distracting people. It requires that kind of sensitivity.
There is a thin line between normal aggressive play and real violence, and it seems that if adults are not there to provide a safety net, the boundaries soon become blurred. In Lord of the Flies, as in real life, this can have tragic consequences. It is vital to continue to develop social skills as children get older, and the use of games and discourse is still important, as Jenny Mosley, an educational consultant, can testify. Her use of circle time in primary and secondary schools can achieve remarkable results in the changing of antisocial behaviour.
I think games in the playground and games in circle time are absolutely vital to moral and social responsibility for children. Basically, games teach abstract concepts such as trust, cooperation, taking a turn, working cooperatively together, sharing responsibility for what goes on in that experience. And there are certain rules in all games which children abide by. Now, when I'm working in circle time, I might play a little game with them, and in that game there will be various concepts which I will draw out in the discussion afterwards. Is there anybody here who needs some help with their behaviour? Is there anybody here that feels that they push other people around sometimes? So at the heart of conflict resolution is the idea that we can actually talk things through, and that's what game playing gives to children. Okay? So what do you do that upsets people?
Well, sometimes I push people around and don't let them play with my games.
So you'd like some help with that, would you? How many people, what's your name? Sam. How many people feel that Sam could really do with some help at the moment? How many would like to give Sam some help? Okay, actually it's quite a lot, so should we give Sam some help at the moment? All right, that's the most. So what is it you need help with, Sam?
I need to stop pushing people around and let them join in games.
Right, so who's got some ideas to help Sam change, because he wants to get better? Okay, any thinking skills? Great.
Would it help if you kept your temper down, so that you didn't get angry with them so easily?
Yes, I think it would. Thank you.
Anna, Sam, would it help if you let some girls play with you as well, and not just boys?
Yeah, I don't think I'd be fair just letting boys play and not girls, so I think it would, yeah, thank you. Amanda?
Would it help if you were nicer to people and they'd be really nice to you?
Well, yeah, I think it would, right?
Okay, right. So can we see how that goes? And we'll see if you manage to improve. Yeah. I want you to tell me about anybody in this class you're really pleased with.
It is through play that children learn basic social skills and develop their social intelligence by interacting with other people. Play can become aggressive and violent, and this is where adults have an important role in supervising and moderating children's activities. They can help children to articulate and reflect on what they already know and encourage them to see how their behaviour affects others. Far from being a superficial activity, it is almost certain that play, at crucial early stages of development, determines the success of later social activity.